Kappa, the terror of Japan's rivers. Kappa once had a terrifying reputation for dragging people to their death underwater and devouring their organs. From the 1950s, however, they have increasingly been seen as cute and humorous characters. Kappa translates as river child. It is also known by the names Kawataro and Kawako. It lives in rivers, lakes, ponds, waterways, cisterns, wells, and is found throughout Japan. Kappa is omnivorous and it prefers cucumbers and human entrails as its diet. Kappa are among Japan's most famous yokai. The supernatural creatures abound in manga, anime, and other entertainment, but also appear in television commercials and as promotional mascots for local authorities. This testifies to a powerful shared image in Japan of their appearance and characteristics. One description of Kappa is that they are aquatic, reptilian humanoids who inhabit the rivers and streams flowing over Japan. Clumsy on land, they are at home in the water, and thrive during the warm months. Kappa are generally the size and shape of a human child, yet despite their small stature they are physically stronger than a grown man. Their scaly skin ranges from a deep, earthy green to bright reds and even blue. Kappa bodies are built for swimming. They have webbed, thumbless hands and feet, a turtle-like beak and shell, and an elastic, waterproof skin that reeks of fish and is said to be removable. Other inhuman traits include 3 anuses that allow them to pass 3 times as much gas as humans, and 4 arms attached to one another inside of their shells. Pulling on one arm lengthens it while the other arm contracts. But their most distinguishing characteristic is a dish-like depression that lies on top of their skulls. This dish is the source of a Kappa's power and must be kept filled with water at all times. Should the water be spilled and the dish dry up, the Kappa will be unable to move. It may even die. Contemporary Japanese people typically visualize Kappa as having green, hairless bodies shaped like that of a human child. They have smooth, circular dishes on their heads, with a kind of hair growing around it, and pointed beaks like birds, which are often yellow. On their backs, they have what looks like a turtle's shell, and their hands and feet are webbed. Kappa live in rivers and ponds, where they catch hold of the feet of swimmers, dragging them to a watery death. Despite this monstrous activity, the Kappa of today are often seen in cartoon form as cute and merely mischievous characters. While younger Kappa are frequently found in family groups, adult Kappa live solitary lives. However, it is common for Kappa to befriend other yokai and sometimes even people. Possessed of a keen intelligence, Kappa are one of the few yokai able to learn human languages. They are highly knowledgeable about medicine and the art of setting bones. According to legend, friendly Kappa taught these skills to humans. For fun, they love causing mischief, practicing martial arts like sumo wrestling, and playing games of skill like shogi. Kappa are proud and stubborn, but also fiercely honorable. They never break a promise. Kappa will eat almost anything, but they are particularly fond of 2 foods: cucumbers and raw innards, particularly human anuses. Kappa are revered in Shinto as a kind of water god. It is not uncommon to see offerings of cucumbers made at riverbanks by devout humans. In return, Kappa help people by irrigating fields, befriending lonely children, or competing with adults in sports and games. Kappa can also be crass and dangerous. Lakes and rivers where they live are often marked with warning signs. Kappa particularly despise cows and horses, and will attack the animals for no reason at all. Mischievous by nature, they loudly pass gas in public and love to pick up women's kimonos. Sometimes their mischief turns violent. Kappa have been known to kidnap or attack swimming women, and kill people. A Kappa's preferred method of attack is to drown its victims, or bite them to death underwater. Kappa also devour humans alive. Usually they go for the rear end to get at the shirikodama, a mythical ball of flesh located just inside the anus. In the water, there is no escape for anyone who crosses a Kappa. On land, however, it is possible to outwit one. The honorable Kappa will feel obliged to return a bow. If it can be tricked into bowing so low that the water in its dish spills out, it can be overcome. Once bested, Kappa have been made to swear loyalty and friendship to their victor for the rest of their lives. Today's idea of a Kappa only coalesced fairly recently, from the 19th to the 20th century, and it is quite remote from former traditions. Even the names of the creatures themselves once varied by region. In the 19th century, however, the rise of woodblock printing gave Edo, now Tokyo, an unassailable lead in publishing. which brought with it a complete cultural shift. The Edo variant Kappa now became mainstream. Kappa were also thought of as mammals like monkeys or otters until the 18th century, rather than reptiles or amphibians. The 15th century dictionary Kagakushu, collection of low studies, describes how when otters become older, they turn into kawaro, which is the oldest reference on record to Kappa. The term kawaro for Kappa is also found in the Japanese-Portuguese dictionary compiled by Jesuit missionaries in Nagasaki in 1603. It is defined as a monkey-like creature that lives in rivers. In the 19th century, however, Kappa with turtle shells became predominant. Just as with the word Kappa, this was due to Edo influence. Buoyed by printed materials, and especially visual media like ukiyo-e prints, what was once a minor variant nationwide soon established a new standard. For example, Katsushika Hokusai followed Edo conventions in depicting Kappa with pointed beaks, as well as shells and bodies like different kinds of turtle, in his Hokusai manga, Sketches by Hokusai, picture books. Other ukiyo-e artists would sometimes color Kappa bodies green, perhaps due to an association with frogs. There is almost no evidence of previous traditions for green Kappa or connections with the amphibians, but their webbed feet and similarity in outline to young children, apart from the head, suggest that some artists chose frogs as convenient models for the imaginary creatures. The main point is that Edo period ukiyo-e are the reason that people now think of Kappa as green. In the Edo period, Kappa and other yokai were characters in the illustrated books, kusazoshi, that were the equivalent of today's manga. They were depicted as comical figures, with their original terrifying nature, as seen in their tendency to drown unwary humans, considerably toned down. While this was one stage in the development to the contemporary Kappa, it was not until the 1950s that the creatures were portrayed as straightforwardly cute. Shimizu Kan's manga works Kappa Kawataro and Kappa Tengoku, Kappa Heaven, were massive hits that instigated a Kappa boom. His endearing version of the water-dwelling yokai became a mascot for Tokyo Citizens' Day on October 1 each year, and also appeared in commercials for snacks and sake. Shimizu's characters were instrumental in creating a kawaii image for Kappa. Even these frightening yokai could sometimes bring people benefits. One legend in a number of areas tells of a Kappa that had its hand chopped off after touching a woman's bottom while she was in the toilet. In exchange for receiving the hand again, the Kappa shared the secret of how to make a miraculous medicine. In another kind of story, a Kappa tries to drag a horse into the water, but is itself pulled up onto land. It is only forgiven after swearing it will never try to drown the villagers again. With the latter kind of story, there are sometimes records of the creature's promise, or in some cases, it is celebrated as a water kami or deity. These stories are reminiscent of Japan's ancient legends from the Age of Gods, with the Kappa as a kind of natural spirit. The Japanese people of that day were in awe of nature, and they sought to gain a measure of control over its threats by giving it concrete form as kami or yokai. The Kappa represented the terrors of nature in the form of rivers, ponds, and the sea. It only needed one mistaken act for even the best of swimmers to drown. Kappa were invented to caution against carelessness. In conclusion, Japanese yokai are fascinating creatures that have been a part of Japanese culture and folklore for centuries. Kappa is one of the most interesting yokai and serves as a reminder of how important it is to respect and protect the environment. While there are some scary stories associated with Kappa, they are also seen as a source of amusement and fun. They are a testament to the creativity and imagination of the Japanese people and their ability to bring to life mythical creatures that still capture the hearts and minds of people today.